more, but I can add two
For
things.
purposes of this segment, I want you to know two things.
Okay.
I want you to know that Epstein didn't kill himself.
I think I've studied that enough, yes.
And I want you to know that you are probably a violent extremist.
Well, haven't we already known that just being a part of this podcast?
I'm pretty sure. If we're not on a watch list somewhere already.
We're sitting in a room. We're clearly violent with cameras on us and lights. And we just had to fix all the lining of the, yep, we're definitely violent.
Putting the way we see it out into the court of public opinion, completely unarmed and ready for the slings and throws of 1,000 people that disagree with everything that we have to say. We are terrible people, David.
Well, I already knew that. I felt that my entire life, actually.
So there's actually official government documentation of how terrible we are.
Oh, shit.
You're going to find out to learn.
Oh, my God. I finally have verification. Thank you so much.
So I believe it came out in late July or early August, but it was a Project Veritas, friends of the show. Not actually like we know anybody over there, but we have covered them favorably before. And
you might know people.
I should definitely know those episode numbers, but I don't. So we'll link them below. But go back to those other episodes where Project Veritas provided other important information to the people before anybody on mainstream media did. So a whistleblower within the FBI leaked an internal document. This document was never intended to go outside the FBI. It was basically give it to all the agents and staff as like training material. So this wasn't supposed to come out to the general public, but thanks to the whistleblower, it did. And the bulletin, or the unclassified enforcement of sensitive FBI internal use only, is what the document's labeled. It's titled Militia Violent Extremism. And then it gives a summary about the rise of ideological extremism and how terrible it is. And here's how you can spot it in the wild.
They don't say what we're saying.
That's what
they
this
disagree
document
with
says.
Us. They ask questions like a fucking asshole.
So, of these symbols, and when David and I saw this, we're like, bro, we're on like over 50% of these lists. So, like,
hence the pre-roll.
We're definitely in multiple folders.
We're definitely guessing
each
other. Which one of us is the terrorist?
So, some of the symbols include the Punisher skull.
Ooh.
Oh, you know that thing that a lot of cops have seen on, or have been like photographed, like have engraved into the side of their gun.
So now you don't have to be black to be pulled over. You have to be black or have the Punisher skull on you. Now you're probable cause. Now we can pull you over. Maybe you got drugs. Maybe you got this. Maybe you got that. Maybe you got a gun you're not supposed to have.
Now, the next symbol or imagery is 2A, Second Amendment. Anything showing support for the Second Amendment or a well-regulated militia or anything like that. Anything to do with the text or intent or meaning of the Second Amendment. That will land you on the FBI's
Heaven
list.
forbid we stand up for the laws of this country that will get you in a gulag for not supporting this country. Wait, what? Hold on. Can you explain that for me one more time, Dane? I'm a little crossed here.
Anybody Second Amendment sympathetic.
If I support the rules that this country was based on, I consequently go against what this country is trying to do?
Oh, yeah. By the way, those rules, which were written explicitly for the government to constrain its power, not to constrain yours. Yeah, those rules.
So if I were to question...
that we all agreed to live by and never voted on to change yet.
So if I were to question why they were questioning my support of the government's doctrine that made the government the government, that's a real... It feels like we're going like this. It feels like we're not going in the right direction here.
Yes, and there's a lot more symbols on this thing, and we're going to have to move through them quicker than this.
Oh, no.
So the Ancapistan flag, any sort of principled devotion or ideology that says that the free market can do better what government can do in all forms and sectors. So there's no reason for government, and we can organize ourselves peacefully and voluntarily. Now, as rainbows and unicorn and fairy dust as that may sound to many of you, there's nowhere in that description of anarcho-capitalism, which is what it actually is there any sort of advocacy for violence? Now, anarchists in the past, at the turn of the 20th century, that were more leftist in nature, they did throw bombs and advocate for violence and all that kind of stuff. But ANCAPs today, which are only anarchists in the sense that they don't think government is legitimate, but they're capitalists, so not on the left, no room for violence. But the FBI says otherwise. Any sort of warrior culture imagery. So basically, the Michigan State Spartans are a bunch of terrorist football players because they have the Spartan helmet on their uniform.
Gonna have to cancel the movie 300. Can't have that.
Nope.
But here's the thing, Dane. When was the last time the government helped you make your grocery list? When was the last time your government set aside time on your schedule to, clean your car, to wash it? When was the last time that your government told you when to pick up your kids from soccer practice? It feels like you do all that without the government. And that feels like a part of your normal life, right?
Yeah.
So why would you need them in your life? Other than just to, protect you from foreign affairs. And,
yeah. Listen,
I don't know.
if there's one thing I know about the government is I know that they are always truthful, honest, and just humble public servants trying to do the best for all of us.
They're just trying to do the best they can.
And mistakes happen, right?
Of course.
Mistakes that almost lead the entire globe to nuclear annihilation. Once every 30 to 50 years.
You might mess up accounting for a day. It's the same thing.
Did you know this is a true story without going too far? And maybe this is the Epstein moment.
Please.
Did you know that Richard Nixon once got so drunk that he ordered a nuclear strike on North Korea, which was not carried out?
It's pretty American. I gotta tell you, it's pretty fucking American. It's like, fuck those guys. You know what? They don't respect me.
And listen, when he woke up and he was sober, he realized it was, and he called it off. So,
and then everyone's like, we got it. We know. You were crying, you were talking about your family, and then you said to nuclear Korea.
David,
we get it.
David,
Tequila's a motherfucker. We get it.
Listen,
Nixon.
When anybody who's not immediate friends or family that like and support the podcast say, oh, you guys got a podcast, and there's that implicit thing like you guys are going to fail like everybody else. Listen, I want you to remember,
failure.
David, I want you to know
yes.
that no matter how bad we screw up on this podcast,
North Korea. Take that to the bank.
Which may or may not have something to do with David and I's proximity to power. So, yeah, we're definitely the ones you should be worried about.
I would definitely have done that. You know what? That fucking Ho Chi Minh stared at me wrong. Let's start a war with him. Kill a bunch of 18-year-olds.
Okay.
David went real for a second. Sorry, let's skip over that.
Sorry, man. I'm trying to get through this
I know,
bulletin.
I get it.
This episode's taking too long.
Let's keep going.
Okay. Any sort of Molon Lob, come and take it sort of imagery.
I don't know what the fuck that was.
Well, okay. So it was in 300. They didn't actually speak ancient Greek. But Molon Lob stands for come and take them, essentially. Xerxes was coming in and said, lay down your spears. And the Spartans sent back a reply that said, come and take them. So that's where it started. That's the Molon Lob. That's the warrior imagery.
This is Sparta! Like, yes.
Yes, that mentality. That refusing to kneel to power. That's essentially what it's standing for. So that, any sort of come and take it imagery that has been popular in Second Amendment culture.
I thought you were speaking in tongues for a second. I didn't know. I was about to throw holy water at you and say the power of Christ compels you.
Those are also terrorists.
Yes.
And then to really run through the egregious one, the Gadsden flag, this one, listen to this, Revolutionary War imagery. An example of a militiaman during the Revolutionary War is the picture next to it. So don't talk about this nation's founding citizen. That might get you labeled a domestic terrorist.
But we can talk about it to make you feel guilty about your race.
Or images of the Liberty Tree, and even get this, the Betsy Ross flag. You remember when you were in like third grade and you learned about the first flag? George Washington went to Betsy Ross himself and said, Betsy, can you make us a flag that will unite us as a nation? And she put those 13 little stars in a circle on the blue with 13 stripes on the flag. And that was America's first flag. Remember that story in like third grade?
Yeah.
Remember
it's a little circle.
Remember how like
why is the American flag all fucked up? Why aren't there more? Wait, David, I'll tell you. No. Somebody special? Did somebody special make that flag? TikTok? Anyway, you'll be maybe surprised to hear that imagery on the FBI domestic terrorist watch list has hung at the end. Holy shit! There's only 13 flags. We gotta get that motherfucker.
Has hung at the inauguration on every president going back to I don't even know when. So yes, at Biden's inauguration and Trump's inauguration and Obama's and George W. Bush and Clinton's and Bush Sr.
And not to bring up a sore subject.
Betsy Ross was hanging.
Not to bring up a sore subject. But yes, we are definitely the ones you got to watch after. What's the weapons of meme destruction kill count? What's our kill count, please? Yeah, please.
I mean, listen.
There's a known president and a known person that ran for president that have a kill count. I'm not going to say which one. Maybe Hoover. I don't know.
Here's what I'm going to say about our kill count. I'm not even a 1 KD on Call of Duty.
If you talk about memes, maybe we've killed a couple of them in our efforts. But other than that, like human kill count, we're
guys.
Good. But you got to watch us. We're the ones that are going to overturn things.
Guys, I am a complete bot on Call of Duty. And I apologize if at any time in the future we offer, as part of following weapons of meme destruction, the ability to play with us on any sort of video games.
I'm never playing that fucking game.
David, hold on a second. Not just that game, but also Rocket League or or FIFA or Madden. I haven't played Madden in years, but
FIFA's broken too. But
get on and play with us. That would be fun thing to do.
Yeah, play with us.
I promise.
If that's the most egregious thing that we've ever said with that. Just get on and play with us.
That's definitely going to get sound bit into something later.
Oh, yeah. They were talking to children when they said that. They were talking video games.
So, listen, whatever the count is, what's that? 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. Of the 12 categories on the militia and violent extremism internal FBI document the public weren't intended to see, we're batting a good 500.
We're totally that dog in the burning house. We are. It's okay. Everything's okay.
You bat 500 for your MLB career. You're a god.
You're not a legend. You're a god. You've transcended. Like you've levitated on. If you fail 7 out of 10 times as a baseball player, you are going to the Hall of Fame.
So listen. I understand that from a pure marketing standpoint, we are not doing a very good job of making you want to associate with us. We're terrible capitalists right now, but we feel a moral obligation.
We have alcohol and candy at all of our group meetings. If we can sway you at all. And that's not to the 13-year-olds that we just invited to Twitch. That's not, no, consenting adults. Candy and alcohol. I know the candy makes it sound a little weird, but trust me, adults like candy too, fuckers.
Okay.